Hello, my beautiful viewers. I'm gonna have a look here. I gotta set up some things here in the back line, but we are live and we are on time. And today we have much more energy to speak. My mouth is still a little bit swollen and so forth, but we're still able to talk much better now. So hey, we're gonna take everything we can out of it and talk because because it feels good to talk again. It's not hurting me. So today we are gonna have much more energy, and I already had a little peek on the pre-market, and I came to the conclusion that hey, we are gonna have a great setup today, by the looks of it. So even better. Hopefully, we can make some money here at the end of the week. We are quite a lot still up on the week. Only one trading day where we actually got trades, but that trading day we hit two gap to sells in one day. Beautiful day, two winners straight out of the open, and we already have pretty much a positive week. It doesn't really matter what happens today. Regardless of the result, we're going to have a green week. But hey, why not? Why not? If we have a great setup today, we might as well make it two great trading days, right? Might as well. Let's see here. How are you guys doing? How are my favorite traders doing in chat? Are you doing great? Everything good? I hope so. I hope so. All right, let's have a look at the markets. Let's take a sip. I went to the store, got myself one of these, so I could be more hyped up for a session. Well, not hyped up, but so I can speak. Energetic. Yesterday I wasn't very energetic. You can still hear that I'm having issues with talking a little bit. It's because my mouth is swollen. It doesn't hurt to talk anymore, but it makes pronunciation a little bit harder. Hopefully that's fine. Tomorrow I'm also being a caster on a special event that I'm hosting for people. That has nothing to do with trading, but I will be talking more there. So hopefully for tomorrow the swollenness is gonna be much less, so I can talk properly. But hey, we are here for trading. We are not here for anything else. That's the truth. We're all here to make some great trades and analyze the pre-market prep. That's the thing we always start out with, right? That's what every professional trader does. They do pre-market preparation. Exactly. And we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Still might talk a little bit less today than normal, but next week we should be like able to go like this like always. Now I start to notice that it's a little bit stingy still when I'm talking. Maybe it's because I'm talking so much. But today, before the stream, it felt good. But we'll see. We'll see what it's gonna look like. Let's jump on the TPO and do what matters. Enough with the bullshit, says the viewers. Enough with yapping. Let's do this. I feel like I'm so young when I'm using terms like yapping. But time flies by and I'm soon 30. What the hell happened? I just turned 20. That's when my trading journey began, and now I'm 27. Holy. Holy, it's been a long time already in the markets, but it feels good. And look at this. Hey, Jussel, would you like many viewers? Let's make you popular. This guy is always on the stream. Well, the bot. I appreciate it, Mr. Bot. Thank you for giving me a free viewer. I appreciate it. But I'm pretty sure Mr. Bot doesn't understand trading. So we have nothing in common. And I do not want more views. I don't want to be popular. I just want to have a community of people talking about trading. And streaming is a way of having a trading journal for myself as well. Of course, I want to grow my own personal brand in the long term as well. I'm not denying that. But I don't want to cheat the system in trading. Also, you don't want to cheat. Just do the work consistently and you will get there. Same thing probably goes for streaming. We'll see. All right. ES. What's the plan on ES today? Well, let's see. Let's start with the pink color and let's do this scenario 1. Scenario uno. Open up, reject the overnight highs into the previous close. Or we even extend into the singles and then take the previous close. That's the scenario 1. Scenario 2 is we open down, we run these lows, find buyers, take the previous close, and find ourselves going back into these single prints here. And these are gonna be a magnet. We have a magnet here that's saying, come here. The market was very bearish yesterday. You can see previous close down here, and we started down here, and we still closed below value. So I feel like the market still wants to push to lower prices, which is why a push up and down would be our best chance at making money today. In ES, I don't really see any other structure here that would make sense for us. Just that one magnet here below, and then these singles above. But still a good setup, statistically speaking. Let's look at YM. YM, pretty much the same story. The only difference is that we closed inside of the value, but just by a little bit. In YM, I'm expecting the same thing. Push up into the singles, reject into the previous close, and maybe even continue to the downside. Or then we open down, we run these lows. We have two lows here aligning, the overnight low and yesterday's low. Run these lows, find buyers, push back to higher prices, and then find some type of balance here. Now I use the same color, so maybe I have to, you get the idea of it. So that's scenario 2. I should have used a different color. But you get the idea. Either we push down, find buyers at the lows, and take it to the singles, which are going to be a magnet for the session. Or we open up to the singles, reject these singles into the previous close and even lower prices. That's what I'm seeing on YM. So almost similar as ES, but I think the singles are much better positioned on YM than what they are on ES. Whereas the probability then again for the gap close is going to be much higher on ES than YM today. I think YM, statistics speaking, has the lowest chance to close the gap today out of all of these markets. I have a way of calculating it. I usually do it before the session. I have a method of calculating the win rate for the specific play, but I might talk about that in a later stream if someone's interested in that. But we'll run with this. Okay. Again, you can see yesterday trend day, obvious trend day down. We create singles. This is board structure, which is gonna be a magnet. If you like Pokemon, this is like a Magnemite, and it's a magnet, right? Price wants to go back here, and we have the previous close, which is yesterday's last price, the price that we agreed upon yesterday, and it's down here outside of value. So very bearish. So maybe we want to have continuation. Either we're gonna continue to the downside, or we're gonna come back to the singles and find some type of balance there, and we're gonna take out this poor structure here. So what could the idea be? Let me know in chat if you know already what we're looking for. Maybe you even know already based on what I did before. But either we go up and reject the overnight high, or we even move to the singles and reject down and take the previous close and probably even trend down. That's something I'm seeing. That's scenario 1 for RTY, the Russell. Scenario 2, on Russell we have few theories actually, but scenario 2 is that we drop down, We find buyers at these lows, and we move up to the singles, and then we probably balance out in these areas here. That's another one. But I also see a third one, which is just a gap and go type of situation. We just gap up from the open and we take the singles. That's possible too, because sometimes when you get these huge downward trend days, it likes to correct itself sometimes the next day. So that could happen as well. But these are the scenarios I'm thinking about going into the session. A lot of good trades today, I do believe. And regardless of what happens today, we're going to have a very, very green week, which is nice to see. We had only one trading day where we got some trades. But I think today is a good chance that we're going to get some more. Monday, we got those few trades there. All right. So that's the play we're looking for. Also, we have the overnight highs aligning with a big number, which is 6,600 on ES. So again, we're gonna look for the same type of thing, same type of play. Bam, bam. That's what we wanna see. This is not a very clean high either, so we could just run this high and come back, take the previous close, and say goodnight. That's what we're looking for. Or then we might run to singles. But now we have the scenarios. Every professional trader has to create scenarios. So you know, okay, if this happens, I'm gonna do this. If this happens, I'm gonna do this. If nothing that I planned happens, what is the thing I'm gonna do? What could the thing be? If I make 3 plans or 2 plans and nothing happens, what is the thing I should do then? Do you know? It's not rocket science. You should do nothing. You should do nothing. God damn it. Speaking is still a little bit hard. You can hear me mumble a little bit. It's because I went to the dentist. Was it yesterday? Yeah. No. 2 days ago. And my mouth is still a little bit swollen. They removed a tooth from me. So that's why I'm still a little bit mumbly. Yesterday I had a very short stream. We got no trades anyways. So I just quit very fast. I was still in pain. Today it doesn't hurt as much when I'm talking, but it's still a little swollen, so I'm mumbling a little bit. But hopefully that's fine. How are my trading friends doing today? How's trading this week? Seeing a lot of green numbers, or are you losing money? I feel like the market has changed now. This volatility is usually an indication of, okay, the market is gonna move to the downside. Usually, if you're looking at the VIX, or you know, when the market starts turning from the highs, you really see increased volatility. Usually, when you have low volatility, it's a good sign of trends continuing. But then once you start seeing this high volatility, I would at least be very skeptical about the market going up long term. And we kind of saw that. I already talked about this many days ago on stream as well, that I think the highs are in. And yeah, it's looking like that. We had many trend days. Usually volume is a very key thing that you can look at. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not look at volume or volatility, which is unfortunate, because I think, you know, these tools are so important. When you see high volume, always ask, what is this volume? Why is there high volume here? And then, well, we have these huge ranges, and based on historical data, when you have huge trading ranges and you have huge volatility, that's when people are panicking, right? And that's why you get these market drops. The markets always have high volatility when you have, you know, when we are coming down from the highs, or, you know, COVID or whatever bad market scenario we are in. But when we're in good times, usually it's slow trending upwards, a little bit lower volume. Everyone's just looking to buy the pullback and then ride the wave to the upside. But right now it's starting to look different, and I'm usually better at this type of markets where the markets are more likely to go to the short side or even choppy. That's my go-to market scenario. That's where I usually make money, which is kind of sad because that's where most normal human beings are, losing their savings or a part of their savings for a while at least. But here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'll have to fix my RTY charts a little bit on the other monitor. I want to be fully ready if we get something here. We get the open here. Let's see if we can get the play we were looking for on any market. All right, we are finding buyers here on ES. Delta is still negative, so we do have some sellers here out of the open. Maybe these sellers are stuck here, and we are gonna run these sellers to the upside and then find a nice entry around these areas. But we are gonna be patient here. If there's a market that you want to look at on stream, let me know. I trade ES, YM, and RTY. I don't trade Nasdaq. I know it's a very popular market to trade in the futures, but it's not something for me. I have traded it before, but Nasdaq is like heroin. It's dopamine because you get these moves very fast, and it has big rotations. But I feel like it's uncontrolled sometimes. When it moves, but it's not that clean. Sometimes it has like clean moves, but very often they are like choppy highs and choppy lows, where you think it's gonna go and then it takes the low, then you think it's gonna go and it does it once again, and then whereas on ES, YM, and RTY, you can really get these clean entries. Like it feels controlled. It's like driving a car, like a normal Toyota Yaris or whatever, Corolla. Like you get that clean, consistent, driving. It's not fast. It's not very like high dopamine impressive, but it gets the job done. It's controlled. Whereas if you would drive like a supercar, let's say a Bugatti or something, I wouldn't be probably able to control it, at least at first, right? It's too erratic, and I'd rather drive every day with a Yaris rather than with a Bugatti. Um, that's the analogy I would make. But here we go. Can we get this type of movement here out of the open? Every market is chopping up here. Not a very actionable open. Not a very actionable open. RTY is opening to the upside, which is nice to see. Meanwhile, the other markets are kind of slowing down here. ES is going to the downside much more than what RTY and YM is. But we'll see if there is a trade on our hands here. Do we get the trade on our hands? That's the question. This is a very high interest level here. Can we run it and make a proper low? I mean high into the previous close. That's kind of what we're looking for here. But time will tell. Time will tell. Almost every market is moving towards the overnight high. ES is my favorite market to trade, so I'm gonna look for ES. We also have a poor high in ES, or not a clean high, so that could be the level to look for. Very choppy opening. Very choppy. Nothing to do yet. We do have news in 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Global composite PMI flash. So we could get some movement right there and then. We'll see, we'll see. In 10 minutes, a small news announcement. But for now, there's nothing to do. Nothing to do, nothing to do. All right. Let's see if we can manage to run these highs. Much less volatility in the open now as well compared to the previous days, I feel like. Don't get me wrong, this volatility is still great. We're a little bit calmer. But maybe it still has some time to open up here. We do have news in like 8 minutes. In 8 minutes. Let's see. Good music, good music. RTY is running for the overnight high, and so is ES. You can see negative delta here, sellers coming in on RTY. Move still continuing to the upside. ES also tried to go there, but struggling to run the overnight high. No trades yet. But we're waiting. All the markets are in the same spot doing the same thing. Correlation looks like it's gonna be a little bit higher. Today, no market is doing its own thing from the indices. I have no clue what Nasdaq is doing. That could be different, but from these three, Russell Dow and S&P, they are kind of the same. It's not what I want yet. Now all markets are kinda rejecting here a little bit before the overnight high. But we want to see a move to the upside here. If we want to catch a short trade. Now testing ETH VWAP for the second time here on ES. On YM, I mean. First time for ES. A very open auction type of opening here. We are in balance. Let's see if we can get it here. YM is now not trading similar to the two other ones. RTY and ES are finding buyers here at VWAP. YM is just plummeting towards the gap already. I feel like YM and RTY already had their stop run, and ES kind of didn't. So I'm so interested on this ES trade. This overnight high is so good, in my opinion. Let's see if we can get it out of the open. A very calm trading session compared to the other ones so far. Though we are not very far into the session. This is just the opening prints here. We're using 3 minutes. So we'll just stand here and wait. Sit on our ass, hands up in the air. Nothing to do. So far, not getting the move we want on any of these markets. YM is already going to the downside here. YM already going to the downside here. Yes. Also a little bit, but not as much as YM. RTY being the most bullish today, for sure. At least so far. Things could change very quickly. So if we get this scenario where we move here, I would probably look for buyers to the upside from these areas. But we'll see, we'll see. We do have the single prints above, which could be a nice level for people to target if they're gonna go for a long trade from these areas. Or then we run into here. So this could be a scenario as well. And then we would run into the higher prices. But unfortunately, not getting the move we want. Not getting the move we want here. So it's still a waiting game. It's still a waiting game. Not the cleanest opening. We got the up move, but we didn't run these highs. And this is not a clean high. Not at all. So we really want to see this level get taken out. But for now, we are moving towards the gap close. So it could be a scenario where we only get 1 day of trading if this gap closes without us being in it. That would be kind of interesting. But hey, that's how trading goes. Now there's the news. PMI flash is here, and what happens? Nothing happens. Almost. You could see that the DOM was much thinner. The order book was much thinner, but that move did not do much. Did not do much. And we get some sellers here. On ES, let's look at YM. YM is almost at the previous close, so YM already doing its thing here and trying to get the previous close. By the looks of things. But so far, it's still there. Still there. Next week we're gonna plan some content on stream as well, some educational content. I'll see if I can get a guest on and talk about trading with someone, and maybe even do some education. There might be some tools or something in the markets that you would want to learn. So let me know in chat if there's something like that that I can bring to a stream and educate someone on something. Because I feel like that's the value. I don't get many trades, let's be honest. Only 2 trades, and these 2 trades came on the same day. So out of 5 trading days this week, I only got trades on Monday. Imagine, only on Monday. That's how it goes sometimes. Trading is very interesting. You can't get setups every day. That's how it goes. Why am very close to taking the level already? Yes. Also so close. RTY, the only market that hasn't taken it yet. But all markets are moving closer and closer to the close. To the close, to the close. Still not quite there. Now we're finding some buyers. Let's look at the PNF chart. Negative 421 delta and price just shoots up. Some really strong buying in here. Really strong buying in here. That's very rare to see. That you get this big of a move with negative delta. Or some proper buying down at these levels. So maybe my scenario could be something like this. Still alive, still not taking the gap. Does this mean that we would get a trade today? Hopefully, 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 hopefully. We'll see, we'll see. But we'll only take a trade if it's gonna be a good trade, right? Only if it's gonna be a good trade. Not seeing anything yet. I wanna wait for the move. I wanna wait for the move. The overnight level is what we want here, but still struggling to get above the RTH view up here. Let's see if it can do it. So what we want to see is a proper push up, run these highs, and then just bring it back to the previous close. That would be a beautiful plan. A beautiful plan. But sometimes you don't get the plan that you want. You gotta remember that you can't get trades every day. There's gonna be max 2 to 3 good probability trades a week, at least for me. But that's on the upside, upscale. This week we had two, and those two trades came from the same day. Actually, there was three, but I missed the other one, so I got 2 out of 3 on that day. But that's the fun of it. If you have the same strategy, usually on the same day when it's high probability, all of these different markets that are a little bit correlated will give you the same setup that you can take. So it's like you get 3 setups on one day. So that's already 3 trading days, right? If you think about it. So just make it count when you have these days with high probability. We'll see here. Still diddling in the middle. Nothing special going on. Nothing special going on. Very choppy here. You can see positive delta, positive, negative, positive, negative. So still clearly chopping here between VWAPs. YM is quite close to the previous close, while ES and RTY are finding some buyers here at these specific levels. Do we get the run of this level now? The play we are looking for. Remember, we've been patient, we didn't take any trades. We're just gonna execute as planned. Do we get this type of move into the previous close? If we do, our patience would pay us for another good trade this week, and then we would be profitable on all days this week. Obviously, we only got one day of trades, so 2 out of 2 is not anything crazy, but hey, I would take it. I would take it. I would take another green day. Any day of the week. The week is already locked in green, as long as we, of course, listen to our risk management. But that's not hard for us. We have done it so many times. I can't remember when I have broken risk. That's probably like years and years ago. So that should be an easy thing to do. A long, long time ago, it wasn't an easy thing to do, though. It took a lot of effort and work to actually become a master of risk management. And in the end, it's about your will. Do you want to be a trader who makes money? Or are you here for gambling reasons? Are you here for dopamine? Are you here for the easy money? If you are, you're not gonna make it in trading. But if you realize this, that you're doing stupid things, you will eventually change your ways and you will find a way how to not do it again. It's just about your will. Do you want it or not? And at some point, every trader gets tested. You know, everyone's gonna have that moment where they break risk and they say, now it's enough. That's enough. I'm gonna change my ways. The best and easiest way is if you're a new trader and you just start managing respecting risk from the beginning. Like create good habits from the beginning, and you will never have these issues. But it's pretty much impossible because everyone's hyping up these crazy risk reward strategies and 9% win rate on YouTube. You're listening to these influencer traders who don't really know anything that what they're talking about. They're trading on sim accounts. Not realistic, not realistic. You have to you have to create good habits from the beginning. And if you're able to do that from the beginning, you're going to have a very easy time way longer into it. It's so hard to relearn bad habits. And the same thing with compounding is that okay, you can make your money compound, you can make your trades compound, your green days compound. That's why day trading is so powerful. But imagine how dangerous it is to compound bad habits. If you're compounding bad habits, it's gonna be like a snowball that's rolling down, and it's impossible to stop that snowball, right? It's a snowball effect. It's compounding, and you're making it worse and worse and worse. And then, 5 years in, and if you can't hold your risk at that point, you're just you're just fucked. I'm sorry for that word, but you're just doomed. Oh. But anyways. Not seeing anything special here for now. Yes is rejecting again at these highs. Looking like it might go to the previous close. While RTY is very close to the overnight high already. RTY is showing up on the levels that we are looking for. So let's see if we can get a trade around these areas. YM also holding above the close. A very interesting day. All right, looks like we might be running into the overnight high here on RTY. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look here if we can run this level. Not getting it quite yet. Not seeing it yet in RTY either. Unfortunately. We are still waiting for the move to the upside here on RTY. ES2, if ES can run it to the overnight highs. But we have to keep it patient here. That is what we're looking for. But we're not getting the move we want. Yet at least. I don't want to enter at these levels before the highs or lows. Sometimes you could get that trade, but it's not high probability to enter at these areas. Right, okay, now we are seeing some increase in volatility here. Increase in volatility right there. RTY running the overnight level already. Let's see if ES can follow up. Positive delta. Positive delta here on RTY. YM also moving to the upside, so is ES. We might get a good trade here. Let's see. Let's see. The trade might be on Russell today, RTY. We ran the level. And now if we can turn here to the downside, we might as well take a trade. We'll find out soon, but we want to wait for a turn first, right? Right now, we're still here. We want to see a push down below the 9 EMA and actually hold it there. We want to see that, but we're not getting it so far yet. ES is trying to break to the downside already here at ETH VWAP. We might get an entry here on RTY. We'll still wait with patience. We're not getting enough yet. We closed below it, but I want to see it continue to the downside. Okay, there we go. We take the entry and we look for the previous close. For the previous close, let's see if we can get this one to the previous close. We're gonna add here at the 50% line, as we always do. Let's see if we can get an add here. Risk reward is about 2, so probability is good. Probability is good. And we got the move in favor, which is nice to see, but we are still at the VWAP, so we want to close below the VWAPs. And that's where we could start to add to the downside as well. But we'll see. Huge downwards rotation with positive delta, which is kind of interesting to see. Let's see if we can make this one count. We got the movie plan, and now we're hoping for the trade to work. Finding some buyers here below the RTH VWAP. Can we continue to the downside here? I do want to add here if we make it to this level. Just to get a little bit more out of the trade, if possible. ES tried to get the cap close as well. Not quite there yet, very close to it for sure. Very close for it to it for sure. And then YM is holding quite well here. Also below the VWAPs, but holding quite well from the lows. This is where we want to see the prices jump down. We don't want to see it come back. Let's hold it below the 9 EMA. Or otherwise, prices might move back to the level that we have our stop at. Positive delta on this move. You can see it. Not the best look here that it's moving against us like this after the rejection. That was very clean. The entry was very good. The entry was very good. I do not dislike the entry. I would not change anything. Now we're having a little move against. Let's see if we can find some sellers again here at this level. Back to where we want it. Here. Let's not run the highs again. Yes, rejecting to the downside as well, but YM and RTY still holding above these VWAP levels. Now is the time where I want to really see a push to the downside. We need to push below this VWAP here if we want to get a win here. That's what we are looking for sure. Again, a rejection candle here. What is the delta looking like? Positive delta here at VWAP again. Starting to see some sellers come in on this rotation up. But still, price is not rejecting to the downside. And now we see positive delta coming in. The question is, do we run these highs again? I would hope not. Very choppy here after we got a move in favor. The entry was really good, but what followed after wasn't very clean. Yes, struggling much more than the other two. YM and RTY much stronger. Stop still holding. Let's see if it holds for a longer time. ES is already looking like it's gonna go to the gap close here. ES looking to close the gap here. You can see again at these lows. RTY is so much stronger than ES and YM too. Very interesting. We might do a higher high here now. We just have to hope here that the market moves into the previous close before stopping us. If we get stopped out, we can still try again. But we have to see here. Seeing some sellers now on ES as well. A lot of buyers here at the high on RTY. If this turns now here, then the buyers are stuck, which is a good sign for us. But otherwise, it could be bad. Otherwise, it could be bad. A lot of buy orders today, bigger buy orders on RTY. Pretty much every level. And there we go, we get a rejection. Rejection again. Hopefully this time we can take it to the previous close. And hold below the VWAP. This is gonna be again the VWAPs. The VWAPs have held it together today many times. Now the question is, can it hold again? ES2, it's like it's so choppy here. So close to the previous close on ES as well. But it's moving back and forth. Not the cleanest price action yet. Let's look at the TPO on RTY. We moved into the value of yesterday as well. We tested that and got a reaction of that level. Very choppy. You just have to wait and see. Anything could happen here, really. I do think that our entry was really, really good, regardless. Then after that, this projection is not very great. Not very great projection here at these levels. We might get stopped out here for a loss, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So choppy that anything is possible, really. Anything is possible. It's going really back and forth here. Now we can see some negative delta coming in as well. Some sellers coming into the market. Yes, really wants to go to the previous close now. Really trying so hard. But RTY and YM holding above this VWAP. It's trying so hard. Trying so hard to go to the upside. Now ES is breaking to the downside for the first time. Let's see if the rest of the market is able to do the same. Do we get a move in favor now? Yes. So close to the previous close here. And we get a nice reaction to the downside. Is this the time? Or not? ES is one tick away from the previous close. No, two ticks away. We got a very clean reaction from that level. But still finding buyers. Still finding buyers, still trying. Trying to lift prices here. A big buy lot on ES as well. 500 lots just before the previous close. So choppy. Look at this. Very choppy price action here. But if we manage to break to the downside here, I think that's gonna be really, really good for the move. But I have to be very careful for a short trade if we manage to break to the upside because we could have a explosion. I feel like this type of compression usually ends up in a bigger move. In a bigger move. Do we get the rejection now? Do we get it? We tried so many times to push to the upside. A lot of buying orders there tried to push prices above this resistance. Did they now give up for the first time, or does RTH VWAP hold? Time will tell. Time will tell. We're really looking for a add here at this level. If we can move down there with momentum, I really like it. Big sell order here now at this specific price, 200 lots. Let's see what happens to that order. Holding nicely below RTH VWAP, regardless everything else. Now the question is, do we get the momentum move to the downside? ES closes the gap already. Now let's see if YM and RTY is gonna do the same. If you manage to push below this ETH VWAP here, it would be a very good one. But time will tell, time will tell. For now, we are holding here, and now I want to see it collapse. I want to see it collapse into this white line here, where we would be able to add into momentum, but still holding here, finding buyers at this level. This trade is for sure a mind control trade. You have it trying to push this level. That's a fake push down. That's a fake push up. It's really getting a lot of people stuck here on the market on both sides. But patience is key. Patience is key here. If we now manage to break to the downside, then I like this trade so much more. But we really have to now get it away from these areas. Maybe this is the turn. ES got the gap, which is a little bit of a bad sign, because then the downward move could be over because ES found buyers. But we'll see, we'll see. You can see ES already took this level here. So people could want to push prices into this overnight high level from the previous close. But time will tell, time will tell. We're still gonna stay in this trade, no matter what. The fact has not changed that this trade idea has statistical edge, so we're just gonna stay with it. We're not gonna change our plan. The plan is the same as in pre-market. Just because it started chopping around, it doesn't matter. This is where a lot of traders make mistakes. They see something, in the market, they see choppiness, and they don't follow their plan. They just change their plan of whims. You really have to commit into your plan. And even if I lose here, as long as I follow my plan, I'm happy. That's how a trader should think. It's not about the result, it's about how well did you trade. How well did you execute? And now YM as well, making highs on the day. Strong buying to the upside on YM. ES closes the gap. ES closes the gap. Oh, it was so close. So close that we would get that move, but now it runs our stop, and we get bamboozled. We get bamboozled. We're still gonna look for another one. Maybe it just ran the stops and now it wants to go again. So we'll really have a look here for another one. We will enter if we have to. Still looking for that short. Another entry. And this is gonna be the last try on this specific play. If this doesn't win, then we're out on the day. We don't want to see a higher high here anymore, and we ran the stops again. We went into outside of value, and now we're looking for the price, and we're looking for an add again. If we make a lower low here, we're gonna add. Sometimes that's what happens. It runs your level, and then it wants to do the thing that you planned. So we're gonna re-enter there. This is the last try. I always allow myself to take 2 entries on the same idea. If that happens, then I have to quit. But this looks good. This white line here, this is where we're gonna look for an entry. I mean, an add. So we're gonna go all or nothing at this specific level. If we make a lower low here, it's gonna be a beautiful one. And hopefully we can close this on a positive note. Now, this is the time where we want to see it go to the goal. We don't want to see it start chopping around anymore. We want to really push outside of value. Obviously, this is the value area. We had a peak outside of the value area, and now we had a peak again below the value area. So we are going to see some buyers here. But if we manage to push here and push past this, I can really see a move to the previous close. That's the plan. But we have to wait and see what the market does here. We need to first get through these VWAPs. ES already did it. ES already took the goal. Now it's time for RTY and maybe even YM. RTY is going to be the play I'm looking for. YM didn't even quite run the level, but it ran the high of the day and had a nice rejection from that level as well. So could be a trade there as well, but I was focused on this one. Higher probability, in my opinion. Or I know for a fact that it's higher probability, just based on statistical edge here on this day. We'll see. Looking to push this trade. If we can manage to move to my white line, I always look to add at the 50% of my target. This way I'm managing risk and I'm pushing the trade if it's working out. That's how I like to think about trading. Push your winners, cut your losers. 20% of your trades pay for 80% of your profits. That's the Pareto principle, and I use that principle in trading as well. Let's see. Do we get a second push here? If yes, I'm putting my stop here. I mean, I'm adding 5 contracts into the trade. Not quite getting it yet. But if we manage to push to this white line, then I am looking for another ad. So far, not getting it. Negative delta here. Moving back into this line of VWAPs. Back to the chop zone. This is what we are looking for. It could retest the 9 EMA as well. It did retest the 9 EMA. Let's now make a lower low for a play to the downside. Have you guys gotten any trades today? Let me know in chat how your trades have been today, if you looked for any setups. ES already did the trade. Did not quite run our level on ES either, so we let it go. But this RTY trade is the one that we also planned pre-market. We're really looking forward to this trade working. Second try on this one, we took one loss here. We had our stop here, we got stopped out. It got very choppy. The both entries were great. You can see we entered here, moved in favor, and then it became choppy. Again, entered here, moved in favor. Now it's just about not seeing this chop again, hopefully. And hopefully we can get a directional push into this previous close. But hey, it's a very balanced day so far. We're just ranging here. So it could become choppy. And we could again look at these higher areas of value that are rejecting today. But we are now looking for a push outside of value. Away from value. But now we're going to the wrong direction. Very, very choppy price action here. Did not quite get the clean run to this level. But now if we run this level, I have a very clean position for my stop as well, because we're creating structure here above. So I could probably, if we now do something like this, then I could place my stop somewhere here. So we'll see if that even happens. Always when you're trading inside of value, it's gonna be much more choppy. And here is the volume point of control. So this is the magnet of today. Price likes to be around this area, and this area is usually a choppy level. You really want to enter outside of value, which is here, and try to trade in. And obviously, if I would only trade outside in, I would look to take my profits around this area. But I have a statistical edge here on this specific level, which is the previous close, and I know it has a very good chance of taking that level today. So that's what I'm betting on. But so far, struggling here at VWAPs. Let's see if we can get that push down now. That would be a beautiful one. Could be a beautiful one. Let's see. Let's look at the PNF chart. Still some buyers here on this move down. Nothing specific on delta. You can see positive delta still on a move down and rejection. So you can still see buyers here at this specific level. It's not done for sellers yet. I wouldn't have a party so far. Ooh, nice delta shift to the sellers. Now sellers are in control, at least for a while. Let's see if we can move that delta shift into the lower prices here. And maybe we can find some new value on the day. There we go, there we go. We are ready to add here as well. If we can get into these prices. If we can get into these prices, but again, having a peak outside of value, people are really interested to buy here and play it back to value as well. At least if you're a scalper, people are looking to do that. So good to be aware of that. But now if we can push here, I would be looking for a short add here very close to it already. Very, very close. Nice momentum. Let's keep the momentum going and see if we can get that add here. There we go. We add to it. Let's move our stop. Push the trade harder. Probability just went up. And hopefully now we can push it back. Push it back. We got a nice stop placement here just above this high. We don't want price to come back here anymore. That's very obvious. Let's put the stop exactly there at the high. Same with this one. And now let's push the trade. Let's push our probability. The probability just became much higher that the level is going to get taken now. So we're going to push the trade. If we see it move back again to these places, we don't really like the trade anyways. So might as well take an add here and push the trade further. I really want to make sure it's already one tick before the previous close is at 10.2. That's good. I had my both orders there, right? Indeed. And now it's just about seeing if the trade works. Now I have nothing to do. Just let the trade play out. Moved in favor. Let's play the probabilities and see if we can get a winner here on Friday. Can we close the last day of the week on green? We already have a locked in green week anyways, but hey, might as well get some more here on Friday if this works. Might as well. We only got trades on Monday, but those both trades won. Then no other setups this week, but now on Friday, it seems like there's something brewing here. Let's see if we can get it. See if we can get it. There's nothing to do here now, we just wait. Wait and see if it goes to our goal. We ran the low. Did not take the IB low yet. The IB low is here. I feel like there is some interest to run that level as well. There could be some buyers around the IB low, but I think the interest is going to be here at the previous close. Now, it is going to be a magnet. Let's see what the PNF chart says. Okay, we are seeing some buyers now. We saw a lot of negative delta, and now for the first time we're seeing some buyers here at this level. For the first time we're seeing a little bit of buyers, but that buying is maybe disappearing. There's some type of fight here between the buyers, but sellers are still in control, driving prices lower. My mouth is still a little bit swollen. If you're new to the stream, I went to the dentist on Wednesday and had an operation done. So my mouth is a little bit swollen. So if I speak unclearly, that's the reason. But I'm doing my best here. Doing my best here. Still some selling here. Negative delta. Looking still fine. Nothing specific. Nothing special. Let's see. We are still outside of value. So again, a lot of people are going to look for buying here in these areas. In these gray shaded areas. Sellers here. And this is where people would start to look for profits. That's a basic balance day. People are trading inside out and outside in. But we are looking for a target down here. We are looking for selling to take this statistical edge down, and then after that I have no clue what's going to happen on the day. Probably gonna be a balanced day, anyways. Or then we reject to the downside properly. Who knows? We have a huge downtrend day yesterday, so could be continuation. But so far, just balance. So far, balance. A little bit of positive delta here as well, and now a move upside, and seeing that sellers are still here, present, not giving up, not giving up yet. Not giving up yet. Negative delta, but a proper move to the upside. Interesting. Very aggressive buying there. But seller still present to catch that move. We move to ETH VWAP. Do we just get that classic move and then retest and continue to the downside, or do we actually swipe back into value? We'll see some buyers coming in here as well. Let's see if this green delta is gonna stay. No, still sellers coming in. Interesting. Moving back, now we are at the break-even point because we added down here, but that's still normal. If it moves back here, then the trade is not that great anyways. And then we're just gonna take a stop and be done for the day. But I still think there's a good probability of it going there. And it still might do it even if I get stopped out. That's totally possible as well. But I give myself always 2 shots, so it doesn't go to over trading, right? And the risk reward on the third one is not gonna be that great either, right? So rather take 2, play the probabilities. If it doesn't happen, sure, search for a new one. Because if you're gonna take a third loss, your risk is gonna be quite high, and then the reward is not that great. If you think about the risk, if you took 3 losses, you're already 3 R down. So like you must actually make like 6 R to make it like a 2 R trade in a sense, which is kind of crazy. So you don't want to do that. And now it's moving back to value, which is not a great look for us. Might get stopped out here. Very close. And we get stopped out. All right. Well, that was a nice try. Both entries really great today. But unfortunately, we get stopped out anyways. Doesn't really matter. Quite close, quite close. So let's have a fast recap before we talk about something else. First, we had a push above this level. We moved back. We took the trade here. A little bit wider risk reward than what I normally like. But we got a move instantly in favor, which was a good entry. Always when you get a move in favor instantly after your entry, that's a good entry. So we got that, but then it turned back, took our stop after some chop. Then we looked for a second bullet. We ran the stops here. You could just see it how it ran past it, moved back, and we re-entered for that trade. Then we got some momentum instantly in favor. Good entry again. Pulled back, and then when we made a lower low and we hit the 50%, I was like, okay, I'm gonna add here because I want to push the trade further. Probabilities of us, making the move here is greater. Of course, if we move back to value, we might even continue to the upside, right? So it's not worth to to find out. You'd rather add here and than see something like this, right? Because if you're here, your target is here, and if your stop is here, look at this risk reward. Like, how skewed is this risk reward if that happens, right? Whereas if I add here, I'm getting something like this, but my payout here is amazing. My payout here at this target is amazing. And I'm still keeping the risk pretty much the same as it would be here. So rather push your trades. Sometimes you might, have a lower win rate if you do this. But in the big long run, you're gonna make more money by adding into these. It's quite rare that you actually get stopped out on these ads. It's quite rare. Maybe 2 out of 10 I get stopped out. It's very low percentage based on my journal and statistics. But hey, we took a losing day. We're still up on the week. Good. That's good. So nothing wrong there. A good try, good try. I don't think there was anything else we could do differently. And now you can see we would have anyways pretty much gotten stopped out. So that ad is a good play. We are pushing the trade. If it doesn't work out, this could happen. This is the other scenario. But we accepted the fact that if it moves here anyways, it's probably gonna go and take it, So rather add into it when you have higher probability. If it doesn't happen and it comes back and takes your stop, this is gonna happen. So at least we had a chance of a much bigger winner rather than us waiting and having a very wide stop. Doesn't make sense. All right, well, that's pretty much the trading day for today. We ended up the week a little bit up. I think we are like a one trade up this week. Not a huge winning week because of today's loss. But yeah, still a pretty good week. And still some volatility in the market. Hopefully next week is going to be just as good as this week. There was a lot of opportunities this week, which was very, very nice to see. Let's see. We're going to take another week. Let's see if we do have any news next week. Manufacturing index on Monday, but nothing major. PPI on Tuesday, that's going to be big. And retail sales, it's going to be huge. Big news there on Tuesday next week. Let's look at Wednesday. Building permits on Wednesday. So we're going to have some news next week. PCE on Wednesday as well. Oh, it's looking like a delicious week of news. Let's see here. The Fed is open and we will get some news Thursday. Nothing. Friday, nothing. But DAX has Friday news. Inflation on Friday on DAX. If you trade the other markets, German markets. All right. Good day of trading. Good day of trading indeed. All right. Thanks for today. Unfortunately, we had a losing day, but that's fine. Still up on the week. We got stopped out. Some news heavy week next week. So we are gonna look for some good moves again next week, and hopefully, get this volatility. This volatility has been a blessing. There was actually so many probability trades that could have happened this week. If something little bit, like for example on RTY, that one poor high that happened, unfinished auction. If it wasn't an unfinished auction, we would be on that trade, and that would be like a humongous trade. I mean a humongous one. But hey, following the rules is the most important part. Green week. I can go into the weekend with a smile on my face and hopefully back next Monday again with some good trades. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you the next time. See you on Monday. 15 minutes before the market opens, as always. Bye, guys.